the last reading wrap up of 2025. Hey everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be talking about the 20 books I read in December. I'm going to give you some spoiler-free reviews, my thoughts, my ratings, and it should be fun. So, I of course read 20 books this month. I had no 5 stars, which wasn't great. Well, that's a lie. I had no new 5 stars. I did reread a book that was 5 stars, but I'm only counting new ones for the sake of my little stats. And I read 7,006 pages, and I read 6 out of the 8 books I put on my TBR. Let's get into what those books actually were, shall we? First up, I read How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates, which I rated 4 stars. This is about a woman who is the only surviving member of a cult. She was a child when everything went down, and now she's an adult. She's trying to put the past behind her. No one really knows like what her past was because she changed her name and everything, and she somehow gets roped into going onto this like retreat from this influencer who's hosting, it's like games and trials kind of thing. They're going to an island and there's different things you can compete in to win prizes, and she starts thinking that people are learning who she is. She's convinced people know who she is. It's the anniversary of a big event from the cult and people are obviously talking about the cult, and she starts to think something more sinister is going on. This was so good. It was my first Darcy Coates book and it will not be my last. It was so entertaining, so atmospheric and suspenseful, and I had such a good time with it. Then we have The Glass House by Eve Chase, which I rated 3 stars. I picked this up from a charity shop knowing nothing about it. I love being able to do that. I do love a good book talk and booktube rec, but when I go into a charity shop and see a thriller I know nothing about, it's coming home with me. So we are following a past and present timeline, and in the past it's about this nanny for a really rich family, and they've got a lot of stuff going on. They're very dysfunctional beneath the surface, and there's something going on there. And then we're following in the present. I can't remember if it's a spoiler to say how she's connected, so I won't. But she needs to find some secrets from her past, so she goes digging and she's connected to that family somehow. I rated this 3 stars. It was an easy read. It was okay. It was, you know, it was nothing crazy. I guessed quite a few of the plot twists. It was a little bit slow at times, but it was fun. There was like nothing inherently wrong with it. I've just read a lot better. Then I read The Treehouse by B.P. Walter and I rated it 3 stars. So this is a thriller and it follows 2 men, and when they were teenage boys, they're brothers, when they were teenage boys something happened one summer when they went on holiday, and now in the present timeline there's a TV show, like a thriller, that is very eerily similar to what is going on like in their past, and one of the brothers is really paranoid that like someone knows what happened and the other one doesn't believe him, so he goes to try and figure out who the director is and figure out what the connection is, and it's crazy. It's good, it's fast-paced, it's suspenseful. Again, I'm quite picky with thrillers because I've read hundreds at this point, and this didn't do anything new or enough to wow me, but it was fun. Then we've got Night Watcher by Daphne Woolscroft, which I rated 3 stars. So what's really unique about this book is that the author is, one of our family members is a victim of an unsolved, what she believes to be murder, I think, and she now has a true crime podcast. And this book is about a woman who has a true crime podcast, and she was a witness to a bunch of serial killings in the past, and now she receives like a live true crime phone call when she's doing her podcast of someone being like, you need to help me, I think this is happening to me. And she said it sounded eerily similar to what she went through, but no one knows that she went through that because she was a child when she did, so the records were sealed, and she needs to know if this person is back because he was never caught. 3 stars. Quick, fun, easy read. Didn't do anything to wow me. I guessed a couple of the plot twists. Then we have The Kidnapping of Alice Ingold by Kate Holden, which I rated at 3 stars. This had a lot of important talks on AI. So Alice Ingold is kidnapped. Her father is the biggest like AI, he runs this huge tech company for AI, and he is the biggest pusher of it right now. And the people that have kidnapped her are protesting AI. This could have been so good, but the way we went in the second half, the part 2, really let me down, because I was hoping we were going where I thought it was going, and I thought it was a really cool message. It still was, but it let me down the way it went. We have The Innocent Wife by Sally Royer Durr, which I rated 4 stars. This was really good. This is about a woman who is working at a school, and she bumps into one of the teachers who she had a past with when she was in school and he was a teacher. And then we're also following his current wife, who is a lot younger than him, and she forms a friendship with this other woman, and he doesn't like that. I wonder why. Really good. So good. Really, like, wow. Following the weird teacher-student thriller vibe, we have Someone Knows by V. Keeland, which I also rated 4 stars. This one was so good. The shock I had when the plot twist happened. Yeah, good. In the past, our main girl's best friend was being groomed by a teacher, and when she found out, she killed the teacher for her best friend. And I think it's 20 years later, and she herself is a professor now, and she has set like a writing assignment for her class, and someone is handing in chapters of a story which is eerily similar to the events that took place, and she can't track down who the student is, so she's getting convinced that someone knows what happened. There's also some weird stuff going on with the men that she dates. Yeah, this was wow. This was good. This was really good, and I'd recommend, but obviously these are all very dark. Secrets You Can't Keep by Deborah Webb, which I rated 2 stars. For a thriller that started off, like the first chapter, we found so many bodies, so much was happening. It then fell so completely flat, was so uninteresting, and nothing else really happened. I'm really sorry. That's all I remember about it. Like, I don't even remember details to tell you because I was really quite bored, and I just wanted it to be over, so we're gonna move on. Then I started to get into a slump. I read Not Another Bloody Christmas by Jo Middleton. This book took me like 2 weeks to read, and I don't think it was entirely the book's fault. I gave it 3 stars. I do think part of it was I was just in a slump in general. I also think this has a lot of millennial humour in it, and I am not a millennial, so it read quite cringy at times. So this is a book about a mum who's booked an inn for Christmas, and she doesn't realise it's been double booked. So she's learning all the gossip about this like really dysfunctional family that's also booked there, and then she finds a body the next day, and she's like, I don't think this was a natural causes. So she's trying to figure out like what's going on, who could it be. Yeah, it was quite slow. It was an easy read. It was funny at times, but it was also cringy at times, and it was really anticlimactic. I wouldn't call this a thriller. I thought it was, but that's my fault, not the books. Overall, it was okay. It was fun. It was nothing amazing. We have The Garbage Man by Tessa Pacelli, which I rated 1.5 stars. I would have given it 1 star, but I saved that for DNFs, so I rated 1.5. This again had a lot of talk about AI. It could have gone in a good way, but it just didn't. I was very uninterested with the story. I don't know, maybe these characters just need therapy. She needed a therapy for her gambling addiction, and none of this would have happened. I have nothing more to say, let's move on. We have The Passengers by John Mars, which I rated 3 stars. This is about AI controlled cars and how they can be hacked. I like this series. It's the Dark Future series by John Mars, and they're set in the near future, so each one has like a new thing that could be so revolutionary for the world, and then he writes a thriller about how it can go wrong. So for example, the one is probably the most famous one. They figured out your scientific genetic match, so you just send your DNA into a like match.com basically, and you find out who your scientific genetic match is. But then like, what if he's a serial killer? Are you going to be with a serial killer because you're destined to be together? So this one was about, you know, AI self-driving cars, but what if it can be hacked and rewired and stream live to everyone, and you have to decide who lives or dies? Yeah, it was creepy. It was, I read these books kind of out of order, so I already knew how a lot of this was going to go, and I was a bit disappointed by how one of the storylines went, but overall I did enjoy it. We have The Kill Clause by Lisa Unger, which I rated 3 stars. This was a quick holiday thriller novella. It got dark at times actually. This is about contract killers and how if you want to leave, there's a kill clause that will be enacted where you can't get out of this job alive. You know too much, you'll be killed. And it's about a woman who doesn't want to do this last job because there is a little girl in the house and she's supposed to kill his dad, and she doesn't want to give this child trauma, but she needs to kill him, otherwise they'll enact the kill clause for her. So what does she do? This was good. This was really quick but really fun. And then we have The House Sitter by Mira V. Shah, which I DNF'd. This was an arc from NetGalley. I tried really, really hard, but it was just not gripping or interesting, and I was putting myself in a slump by trying to power through, so I just couldn't do it. The writing was not the best either. The storyline was very slow. There was a lot of Spanish and it wasn't translated, and it was whole conversations being had, and I just was just I have no idea what's going on here. How am I supposed to know? I didn't know I needed to speak Spanish to be able to read this book. So yeah, not for me. DNF. We have The Situationship by Abby Jimenez. This I rated 4 stars. It's a very, very short and sweet novella, a short story. Her humour is so good. This book was so funny. It was 37 pages and I was already giggling and kicking my feet. This was so cute, so sweet, so funny. I highlighted so much in such a short book. Yeah, this was it. This was it. It was so fun. Then we have Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace, which I rated 4 stars. This is how you do a holiday rom-com. This was so good. These two are competing, well, hardly competing. She works at her dad's big corporate business where they make dolls, and he handcrafts dolls in this small town, and a video goes viral of someone in that town saying big businessman ripped off our dolls, and she goes to the small town to kind of smooth things over for her dad's company and ends up falling for the guy, but obviously he hates everything that her family is about, so that is where the conflict is. Really good, really sweet, really fun. The third act conflict did really annoy me. He really annoyed me, but I feel like it was all redeemed, and this is how you do a Christmas novella. This is not a novella. This is how you do a Christmas book. Then we have The Final Episode by Laurie Roy, which I rated 3 stars. This was interesting. This one is past and present. In the past, we're watching the summer a girl went missing, and in the present, we're following one of that girl's friends whose father is currently in prison for the crime, but she doesn't know if she really believes he did it or not. This was very confusing. We had POV chapters, it felt like mid-sentence. I listened to this on audio. I got the audio arc, so I don't know if it was paragraph breaks, but it was very confusing in the audiobook. We were changing POVs, it felt like mid-sentence. Like I said, I found it very hard to keep up. Yeah, it was okay. It was very confusing, like I keep saying. It did quite a lot of fun stuff though, so it made up for it, which is why I ended on a 3 star. Then I have my 5-star reread, the book I cannot stop thinking about. This is Keeping 30 by Chloe Walsh. I originally read these back in, I believe, 2023. I made a whole reading vlog reading this first duet, Johnny and Shannon's duet, Binding 13 and Keeping 13. I am rereading, well, I've reread now Binding and Keeping 13, so I can continue on with the series. Johnny and Shannon will forever hold a special place in my heart. I loved this book so much. It caused me so much pain and healed my heart all in one. I could get emotional if I continue, so we're gonna move on. Then we have The Privileged by Woo Seol, which I rated 3 stars. This is translated fiction, which I really like. It's not a genre I read a lot of, so I was very interested. It is also I'd say suspense more than thriller. It's about the privileged and a woman that is determined to get into like the privileged upper class life, and then what she sees and how warped and twisted it is and how far people will go to stay in that very competitive upper class lifestyle. I felt like the ending fell flat and it was a little bit slow, but I did really enjoy it at the same time. Then we have Let Me Out by Amanda Brittney, which I rated 4 stars. This was super, super good. This is, again, past and present, and in the past, a little girl dies. Keep reading about that. In the past, our main girl was friends with the girl that was murdered. And in the present, she has to go back to that town because her brother was in an accident and now he can't communicate. He's alive, he's not in a coma, but he's not responding, and there's no medical reason why. They think it must just be trauma that he's gonna one day just get up and speak, and she's going to look after him in the meantime, and she's finding some really weird things that are going on, and she thinks maybe he wasn't in an accident after all, maybe it was intentional. This was so good. The plot twist got me. Oh my gosh, I would definitely recommend 4 stars. And then a book I spent like 2 months reading on and off because I kept having to pause to read different things for different videos I was filming, but I did finish it by the end of the year. This is Quicksilver by Callie Hart and I rated it 4.5 stars. This is a fantasy, it's a romantasy. I'm sure you've heard about it before. This was so good. It was so fun. It was so immersive. I don't know why I didn't give it 5 stars, but I just didn't get that 5-star feeling, which is why it's a 4.5. I will absolutely be continuing. Brimstone is on my 26 books to read in 2026. I will be picking it up very soon. I would absolutely recommend it. This was so good. I had such a good time reading it. And there we have it. Those are the 20 books I read in December. This video was all over the place. I feel a bit all over the place today, so please, I'm very sorry about that. I am so excited to be filming content for 2026. This was my last, I think this will be my last video of the year. It might be in the beginning of the year, but this is the last video I'm filming in 2025. So, Happy New Year. I'm very excited for my next year of content and my next year of reading. Let me know what your reading goals are for 2026. That is all from me. I hope you have a lovely day. If you'd like to see more from me, please be sure to like and subscribe as I post new videos every single week. Happy New Year. I'll see you in another video. Bye.